It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Well, I'm nothing if not at least a little entertaining, so time for another video. Welcome to the new subscribers, usual suspects. Welcome back for what will be an interesting one. Yeah, it's been that kind of trip so far. Man, so we did the live on Sunday. I appreciate you guys who popped in and saw that. And then we got the load that I told you about that was going up to Montana. I had to go pick it up in a little town called Maybank, Texas. And it's steel fasteners that hold trusses together. Boxes upon boxes, 469 boxes on the trailer. And so, before I tell you that story, I have to tell you this story because it'll all add up and make sense. So, when it comes to business, you know, there's people that are good things at some things, they're not good at others, they thrive on certain things, other things maybe they need a little bit of work. And I am not what you would call a shrewd negotiator. Let's be honest, okay? I mean, it drives my wife absolutely nuts. I think that kind of stems from my empathetic personality. You know, we'll get cut off in traffic and she's blaring the horn and giving them the finger, you know which one, and and I'm like, well, you don't know, maybe they're running late to pick up their kid or trying to get to a job, and you don't know what's going on in people's world. And so I try and give people the benefit of the doubt. And so if we're having a yard sale and I have something and I want $40 for it and somebody says, will you take 20? I'm like, sure. And then my wife's like, why didn't you say 30? And I was like, well, because I was happy with 20. I didn't want the thing anyway. That's why we're selling it. Or, he offered 20. I assumed he had 20. Now he has $10 to go bless somebody else. I don't really get caught up in the minutia. So when it comes to this rate negotiation, especially as a new authority, I'm probably not the best at it. It might even be the worst. Who knows? So I actually inquired about this load that I'm on Friday, and they were offering it at $4,300, and I wasn't doing it, and so I wasn't really interested. But I was sitting around on Saturday, and I still hadn't found a load, and the load was still there. So I shot him a quote, and I hit him at $5,000. And I came back and said, "Oh no, we can't do that." They called me on a Saturday. I got to do what I got to do for my business, and they said, "How about $4,500?" I said, "No." I said, I do have somewhat of a sense of humor. I said, "How about this? I'll say $4,700, so you can say we met in the middle at $4,600, because I know that's where you're going anyway, because brokers love to meet in the middle." So he said, "All right, we can do that." So I booked the load Saturday for $4,600. And I had made mention in a couple videos that my pre-pass was giving me issues. And when I got down to Maybank and they were loading me, which they did super fast, I said, I'm going to give pre-pass a call. So I called It's Best Pass. I have the Ultimate Pass or whatever it is with all the tolls and all that. And so I called the guy. I'm like, "Hey, my pre-pass is not working. I'm not getting red lights, green lights. I just did a trip. I was out for 10 days and this happened and that happened." And he said, "Oh no, sir. You see, you signed up for it and it's included in your device, but to actually activate the pre-pass, you have to call a number."
Once again, things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday!
So I call pre-pass, and they have all my information, they have all my billing information, they have everything. I just didn't call and say, "Hey, make this active." So it's active on Monday, except that it takes 24 to 48 hours to activate.
What the hell is even that?
So I was like, all right, well, whatever. It is what it is. So I go and I get loaded, and I suck at weight balance. I'm used to flatbed. I'm used to a little bit lighter truck because, babe's a condo sleeper. Used to a lot of different things. So this is all still, no matter what experience they have, the most expensive part is what you don't know. So I'm still trying to get a feel, and I'll go out here and show you the load. Well, sorry about the reefer noise, but I know you can't see the tarp. That's not really what I'm trying to show you. So we had 2 pallets up here and 2 pallets here. But in doing that, that meant that our 45,000 pound load stopped right here in front of our second axle. So from here all the way back was empty, which was putting no weight on there. but it was too much weight to close them. So you can't see it, but I had to untarp, unstrap the back, and I went over to the TA there in Oklahoma City, and the guys were kind enough to let me have a pallet, and I moved 16 100-pound boxes to the front on a pallet, and now love tarping a mismatched shaped load, but that's the best we could do. So hey, you saw my first ugly tarp job. Let's get back into it. One more thing before everybody gets on my case, I guess I should explain. I was trying to get every ounce off of those axles, so I even put my tarps on the deck simply to try and get weight out of the toolboxes. So I knew somebody would see it and say, why you got your tarps on the deck? Well, that's why. So that's what it looks like right now. That is not what it looked like when we started. And so I knew it was 45,000 pounds, and I know you get 40,000 pounds on your rear axles, 20,000 pounds per axle. And so it's like, you know, and we're talking about box weights, we're trying to get loaded, and we get it loaded, get it strapped. The tarp is ugly, but they don't pay extra for good looking tarps, and with boxes all different heights, I wasn't going to get a great tarp to begin with. And I get loaded, and the closest scale to Maybank is 50 miles away. So I finally get to that scale, and I scale it, and I'm 76,700-ish pounds. That is my total. Where the problem lies is that I am 20,900 on my front axle, and I'm 20,700 on my rear axle.
You just got jammed.
So that's not a good thing. But if I go 50 miles back to where I got loaded, and I unstrap and untarp so that we can fix the load, I'm not going to make the delivery on time. This is a very tight delivery window that I'm booking it. That's why I've been starting at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm making this video in the middle of the afternoon, which we'll get into that in a little bit in a video. And so I'm like, you know what? I got to get to Oklahoma City. There's one scale between here and there. And the reason I know that scale is because it's mile marker 11 in Oklahoma is the scale house northbound, because that is where I got my first level 1 DOT inspection back when I was at TMC. So I know the place. But I'm rolling in, and I've been there, and I'm nervous. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I can now, numerous times, there's a lot of truck traffic on 35 where I'll get kind of held up and backed off, and they'll fill up the scale line, and they'll start giving people the bypass. That did not happen.
You done messed up, Aaron!
As you saw in the video. It pulled me in, said, get your paperwork. I went inside and said, what's going on? And the nicest lady you ever wanted to meet says, you're overweight. We give a grace, but we don't give that much of a grace. You owe us $200.
Got him! Got him!
So, when you're driving on I-35 North, on 35 in Oklahoma, that 73rd centerline marker, I paid for that. $200. Now, here's the kicker. I didn't get an inspection. It was just a pull-off compass. And so, she said, it doesn't go on your business. It doesn't go on your CSA. Basically, if I hadn't made this video, nobody will ever know. And by the way, for the rest of today, you can drive anywhere in Oklahoma. You could weigh as much as you want because you can't get the ticket for the same thing twice in a day. All they wanted was the $200. So I paid it because they won't let you leave until you pay it. Rolled up to Oklahoma City. May or may not have on some free time of mine, unstrapped, untarped, and moved 100-pound boxes of trusses. Those are the ones at the front. And I moved what I could move. I had to keep the load stable. It was saran wrapped, retarped, restrapped, took a shower, went to bed. Got up this morning, rolled out, hit the TA or Petro up there in Salina, Kansas, got on the scale, and I was 19,980 pounds on my rear axle and 20,680 pounds on the front axle.
Son of a bitch!
And I said, nothing else I can do. I've moved what I can move. Oklahoma, the lady told me in Oklahoma, by the way, so you know, she goes, we give 1,000 pounds of grace, but you're over that, so we have to issue the citation. And I've heard other states will do the same thing. So nothing I can do. I'm just going to roll, and I'm going to roll, I'm going to roll. And I get to Lyman, Colorado. And I'm waiting, my pre-pass still isn't working, I'm hoping somebody's at lunch. They were not at lunch. They pulled me up, and this is what happened. So again, Colorado and their state-of-the-art system hooked me up, and they let me pass.
Thank you!
But I was just like, don't look, don't look, don't look. Watch, it says slowly, but I was just waiting for it to say stop, and it didn't. So we got through. We are in Bennett, Colorado. We are, like I said, we will be in Montana on Thursday. I'm trying to book a load right now going to northern New York, where I'm trying to be a shrewd negotiator. I'm trying to become a better business person, because it's 47,000 pounds of lumber, and based on my last 2 loads, as you can tell, my weight distribution is not the greatest. So a little nervous about the 47,000 pounds, but we got to get out there. We got to get it done so that we can keep going. We're going to run all the way till September 1st. If I go home next weekend, that screws up Labor Day, so I want to get home for Labor Day and take some time off. Got a new deer lease I got to get set up, but the truck is running. We've made it through one scale house, so you can have 40,000 pounds on your rears, but luckily states give a little bit of grace, because I didn't beat myself up. I wasn't mad about it. I wasn't cussing. Oklahoma didn't do anything wrong. This is 100% on me, because I'm learning what I don't know, and I'm struggling with weight distribution. That's going to happen. So you just kind of got to move on with it. I just did spend like the next 3 hours contemplating what I did different, because I told him to move a pallet, but it's on me. It's my fault that it ended up the way that it did, but I'm in good health. We're in good spirits. Luckily, I got that extra $300 for load, because I just gave $200 of it back. So we'll have some more videos coming for you. Let's get on the road. God bless. Let's get rolling.